What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. You know, when I was younger, I used to think, when I first started working, I was thinking that Social Security, that was your retirement. I didn't really know about 401ks. I definitely didn't know about a pension or anything like that. I was just working. I knew this FICA tax or the FICA contribution I was paying into that. And I was thinking that this is my retirement. That's what I'm paying towards. And the unfortunate part about Social Security is it's not your retirement. It wasn't designed to be your retirement. But unfortunately, more and more people are relying on Social Security for their retirement. And that is because we have a broken system. 401ks are not panning out to what we thought that they would pan out to be. We have pensions. Pensions are good. I think a pension is a good retirement plan. And then we also have people who have their own personal savings or saving up money. But life happens, and sometimes you have these critical incidents and things like that where you need to spend money. And so you don't have that savings that you want to have. We all look at our savings and think, you know what, I wish I had more in my savings, or I wish I invested more when I was working. But there are, in a lot of situations, we're not able to do that. So I want to show you guys some numbers today. I think this will be interesting just to show you the average Social Security benefit. And then we're going to talk about some of the pitfalls when it comes to Social Security benefits and why you really need to have a strong retirement. You can't just have Social Security. So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But first off, if you guys can do me a favor, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you'll get notified anytime we post a video. We do daily videos here, so by clicking the bell notification, clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. And once again, thank you for your support. And if you'd like to join our membership, click the join button below and become part of our family. Okay, so let me show you guys this. I did this illustration, and I'm going to walk you guys through this. And so the first thing I want to talk about, the average Social Security benefit, okay? Now, this changes. Every year it changes. Every year it goes up. I've seen it as high as $1,900, $1,907. But from the research that I did in this video, they're saying the average is $1,883.50, okay? So that is the average Social Security benefit. That equates to $22,600 per year. Okay, so that is the average Social Security benefit. Now, when we're looking at, in this up here, what I'm showing you guys here is this is how much a typical U.S. household needs to cover normal living expenses like food, clothing, and shelter. $73,000 per year. That's what you need for the basic necessities. Okay, so we're looking at Social Security at $22,600, and we're looking at what you need for just to, the basic necessities. That's $73,000. Okay. Now, what I did here is the Social Security Administration, they have said that your Social Security benefits should only supplement about 40% or less. It shouldn't supplement more than 40%. However, the reality is there are a lot of people that are receiving Social Security benefits, and that's all they're receiving. They don't have a 401k set up. They've depleted their personal savings, and so they don't have anything else. And so if you were to look, and we'll just put 40% since they say 40% or less, we'll say 40%. So 40% of $73,000 is $29,200. Okay? So I'm just showing you the difference here. When it comes to what you need for basic necessities is $73,000 on average, and what you're getting on average from Social Security benefits is $22,600. Okay. Now I want to show you something. When we're talking about the three-legged stool, I've talked about this before. We're looking at Social Security. We're looking at the employer pensions or 401ks, and understand this, some employers, they offer a retirement plan, so a 401k or a different type of retirement plan. Some employers don't even offer retirement plans, so you have to do it on your own, okay? And then we're looking at personal savings, okay? And I didn't mention pensions. So pensions is also a part of a retirement plan. So when we're looking at this, what do you think the strongest or the most stable income is going to come from? So let's just break this down. When we're looking at what's stable and what's not, I would say a pension. If you're receiving a pension where you're getting money every month and it's guaranteed and you'll get that money for the rest of your life, that's pretty stable. However, that's a very small percentage of people that are receiving pensions. Okay, civil service workers, those are the people that are receiving pensions, but they're very few. Okay, I receive a pension because I work for the government, but a lot of people will not see a pension. Okay, and there were companies before that were offering pensions, but companies started to realize that pensions cost too much money for them, and that's why they moved to the 401k. Okay, and some of them moved away from pensions, and they don't even have retirement plans at all. Okay, so you have pensions. That's a pretty stable income. When it comes to Social Security benefits, that's another stable income source. Okay, when we're looking at personal savings, well, that's not too stable because you have money that's saved up. But like I said, life happens. You have situations that you have to deal with. You need to get a new roof on your house and things like that. And you're now you're taking money from that savings. You retire. You might want to go on vacation and go to different places. You're taking money from your savings. So it's not very stable. We're looking at 401ks. A 401k is not very stable because it fluctuates with the market. And you're going to take a percentage every year from your 401k for your retirement. Okay. 401ks aren't guaranteed for the rest of your life. So you can run out of your 401k. All that money can be depleted. And if you haven't put enough in your 401k, you might really be struggling because you're not going to be able to draw that much out every year. Okay. So 401k is not that stable. Now we already talked about pensions. Pensions are stable, but guess what? There are only very few people get pensions. So when it comes to Social Security, this is the most stable retirement income that you're going to receive. And so I am not a financial advisor, but when I'm looking at the fact that the Social Security Administration says that no more than 40% should be coming from Social Security, I would still want my Social Security benefits to be around that 40% because I know that's stable income. And so I can rely on that income in the future. Now, let me say this. When it comes to in 9 years, we know the trust fund will run out of money. And when the trust funds run out of money, then we're looking at a situation of a 23% cut. I don't think that that's going to happen because Congress has to act, and they will act because they know they don't want to be on the other side looking in and saying, you know what, we allowed for a 23% cut to Social Security benefits. They're not going to do that. Why? Because you have 70 million people receiving Social Security benefits, and a lot of those people will vote. And they will vote all those politicians out if those politicians don't move forward with some type of reform. So we will see that. We'll see that in the future. Now, sooner will be better than later, but we have to work with what we have. And this is the Congress that we have right now, and they can't pass anything. Okay, so now I want to show you guys this. So when we're looking at $29,200 per year, that is that 40% of just Social Security benefits. That equals $2,400.33. Okay. Now we already talked about, and just moving down right below here, we already talked about the average Social Security benefit right now is $1,883.50. And so when you take the $2,433 and you subtract $1,883.50, you get $549.50. That is the difference. Okay. That's the difference between what the average person receiving Social Security is getting compared to the 40% of the 73,000. So hopefully you guys are following me, right? So what I want to show you here is 40.2% of people receiving Social Security benefits are receiving Social Security as 100% of their retirement. So we're talking 40%. That's a large amount of people that are receiving Social Security benefits, and that's all they're getting. And so that's the tragedy. You have a lot of people right now that are just living on Social Security benefits and looking at the averages and looking at the fact that they're living on, I mean, you're living below the poverty line at that 22,000. And that's really unfortunate because the dream, what's the dream? When you start working, you're thinking, okay, I'm working, I'm paying into the payroll contribution, I'm helping out people who are currently retired. I'm thinking, you know what, when I get to that point where I can retire, I should be able to retire comfortably. And then you're finding out that's not possible. I'm not going to be able to do it because it's just not enough money. And that's why you do have lawmakers out there. You have some lawmakers out there that are on your side, and they look at this and they say, you know what? This isn't enough to live on. And although the program wasn't designed for your retirement at 100%, it's not your full retirement, we still have people that are at that point. And so what do we say to those people? Will we just say, okay, you know what? Too bad. No, we need to help those people because we've changed systems around. We've moved to the 401k. We've done all these different things. We know that life happens and sometimes you have to take money. Sometimes you have to take money out of your 401k. You might have to borrow against that, or you have to take money out of your savings. And then you don't have that money when it comes to the point where you want to retire. Or you see people that are receiving this $22,600 and they have to continue working. They have to work for the rest of their life because they can't retire because they don't have a 401k set up. They don't have another retirement plan set up. And so as you can see, this is a very serious situation and it's only getting worse. That's the problem. It's not getting any better. And so the hope is, and I know there's some legislation out there, I talked about this in previous videos, where lawmakers are trying to say, you know what, companies need to offer retirement. It should be mandatory that companies offer a retirement plan. That way you have that retirement plan, just like we talked about with the three-legged stool here. You have a retirement plan set up, you have Social Security, and then hopefully you'll be able to save some money and you'll have your personal savings. And then you'll have that three-legged stool. But right now, that's not the reality. And when we're looking at this, some companies don't offer retirement at all. And so you have to do it on your own. And how many people are going out there doing it on their own? A lot of people aren't. And then you also have to realize that you're competing against everyone else, right? And when I say competing, what I'm saying is when you go buy a car, there's competition for that car, right? So the price of that car goes up. And so let's say one person says, you know what? I'm not going to save for retirement because I need to buy this, this, and this. I want to buy a house. I want to do this. I want to do that. Well, they're pushing that price up. And then when you come out and you say, okay, well, I want to have my 401k set up. So I have money going there. I have money going to my personal savings. I have, money going to Social Security. And then maybe I want to set up a different, a Roth IRA or whatever. I want to set up some different stuff. Well, now you're investing all your money, but now you can't buy a house. Now you can't buy cars. When we're looking at this situation of the millennials and the Gen Zs, they're seeing the reality that they might not ever be able to buy a house. Why? Because houses are not affordable anymore. When you look 40 years ago, 50 years ago, houses were affordable. And you could have just one person in a household working, and that would be enough to buy a house, to buy a couple of cars, and to feed a family. But now that's not possible. It's not the reality anymore. And it's only getting more and more expensive. So people, they don't even have the opportunity to save money. They don't have the opportunity to max out their 401ks. They don't have the opportunity to do any of these things because things are so expensive. And I'm just looking at the housing market. We know we're going to see another boom when it comes to the housing market. As soon as the Federal Reserve starts cutting interest rates, guess what? People are going to be out there buying houses. People who have been waiting to sell their house, they're going to start selling their house. And the price of houses are going to continue to rise. And you're going to leave a lot of these people out. A lot of the younger generation, they're going to be left out. They're not going to be able to afford it. And so when it comes down to, I just wanted to show you kind of the Social Security and the makeup and why Social Security is a key part of your retirement. It is a key part of your retirement because it's the most stable. It's the most stable money that you'll get. Now, I'm not saying just focus on Social Security. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you still need to have a 401k set up. You definitely need to have a 401k or some type of retirement plan set up, and then also have money in your savings. But I'm just saying, when we're looking at the breakdown, when we're looking at everything, Social Security will be the most stable income that you'll receive in your retirement, and you'll receive it for the rest of your life. And that's why it's important. It's also important that we pay attention to these lawmakers. We know who we're voting for. We know how they feel about Social Security, how they feel about expanding Social Security. Because if you provide a $200 raise for Social Security, that's going to boost up a lot of people who are currently receiving Social Security benefits. It might push them over that poverty line, which is good, because you have a lot of people right now that are below the poverty line, and they worked their whole life, 30, 40 years. They might have run out of their 401k money. They might have run out of their savings, and all they have now is Social Security, and they're relying on that for all of their bills and everything. And so giving them a little boost, that would help them. And so we need to know who we're voting for, how they feel about Social Security, because on one side you have lawmakers that want to expand Social Security, but you also have lawmakers that want to do away with Social Security. They don't like the program. They want to privatize the program. They want to put an end to the program. They want to make cuts to the program. And so that's why it's important for us to know who we're voting for and to look at these politicians. And if we see that they don't want to expand Social Security or reform do both, reform it and expand Social Security, we need to vote them out. Simple as that. So I just wanted to show you these numbers. If you guys have any questions, let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.